And then now let us begin anthropology and history. एक fresh heading रख लो, anthropology and history. This will be the fresh heading. We will cover first this. See, like what we have done earlier also, we see what is the meaning of history, and we know already what is the meaning of anthropology. From there we start looking at what are the similarities between them, what are the differences, if there is any person who contributed to the both fields, or any topic which is common to both fields. Those are the things that we will look at. Okay, so anthropology you know very well, we will repeat the same. But what is history, if I ask you? What?
Study of past events.
Study of past events. Okay, very good. Anybody else? Study of past events. Okay, this is accepted. Anybody else? What is history? No refinement. Anybody, please contribute and talk in between the session. You talk, contribute. Okay. I'm just asking your understanding of history. You can tell me what is history according to you.
Sir, history is study about what the peoples, how the peoples live in the past and how they react or how they.
Okay. The okay, live life of the people who were existing in the past. Okay. See, this is also accepted. Even the past events is also simply accepted. But I'm just going to do a little bit of refining, where we do the study of past events in a systematic and chronological order. This is very important. Chronological order. We study in the chronology with the time. As the time progressed, what changes have happened, what events have happened, these things we cover in the chronological manner. That is what makes history separate. So here we will see how anthropology and history are linked together. ठीक है, so सबसे first history के बारे में लिखेंगे, then we will link it, एक connector बनाएंगे with the anthropology, then we will start looking at the similarities and differences. So please write. History is the study of, history is the study of chronological sequence of events, chronological sequence of events in the past, यहाँ पर एक और एडिशनल एलिमेंट ऐड कर रहे हैं, इन द पास्ट, which have written records and their language has been deciphered. ये है प्रॉपर डिसाइफर राइट, डिसाइफर्ड. ठीक है. So 3 points we are highlighting here: chronological sequence, written records, and language is deciphered. So these 3 points we are highlighting. ठीक है, इनको आप 1 2 3 मत लिखो, but underline करो in your notes. Now let us look at it. What is the meaning of it? You know what is the meaning of chronology? That means in a systematic manner, in the time period, what happened first, uske baad what happened next, what happened next, what happened next, in this manner. Even if we study independence struggle also, we will see time wise, year wise, in this year what events have happened, in this year what events have happened, in this manner we cover. Then second catch is it should have a written records. If the written records are not available, we call that period as the prehistory, not the history. Okay. For example, Stone Age, Lithic Age, and all of them, they do not have the written records. So if no written records, then we call these as prehistories. Okay, so if the written records are not there, we call that period as prehistory. ये आप जीएस में भी पढ़ते हैं. Then written records तभी होगा when you have development of the language, when you have development of the script. So to write anything, you need a script. For example, for Hindi, we have Devanagari script. So if the script is not there, you won't be able to write it. But there are certain periods where script is existing. They had a civilization, they were existing, but their script is not deciphered. So we don't know what kind of language they were using, what is the meaning of it. The best example in today's time period for this is Indus Valley civilization. See, Indus Valley civilization has a script, pictographical script, but the script has not been deciphered yet. So we call such past which has language script but which is not being deciphered, such histories we call it as proto-histories. Proto-history. That is the difference why we distinguish history with these three terms. It should be having a chronological event because it is also a systematic science. Second, it should have written records. And third, the language should have been deciphered. See, at one point of time, even Egyptian civilization, Egyptian culture, Egyptian history is also proto-history because the script was not deciphered. Later, we deciphered the script and started studying about it. Now, the Indus Valley civilization script is not deciphered. If we decipher, we may get extra insights about that civilization. Okay, so this is the simple introduction to history. Now, anthropology. See, when we talk about these chronological events, of course, these chronological events are related with the humans. This is the past left by the humans. That is what we were trying to study. History is all about the past chronological events left by the humans, and we study those events. So here also the central theme is humans, but only thing is it focuses only on the past. That too, which has the written records and whose language is being deciphered. So again, restricted. But when it comes to anthropology, what anthropology does, anthropology also covers the past, but at the same time, it also covers the present. History doesn't deal with present, but anthropology deals with the present. And also to some extent, anthropology deals with the future. So a small segment, that is past element, is being dealt by anthropology as well as history. That is where the overlapping, the similarities comes into picture. And differences in the manner of dealing, the holism and all. Second, anthropology goes beyond history. That's where they both differentiate. Okay. So next to paragraph में लिख लीजिए. Anthropology, please write in the next paragraph. I am taking another page to write that. अब paragraph में लिख लो. Anthropology also studies humans' past, studies humans' past. Full stop. Continue कर लो. Humans' past holistically. I'll tell you what is the meaning of holistically, how we differentiate this. Holistically, also, it further covers present and to some extent future. To some extent future. Stop. इसी में कंटिन्यू कर लो. Archaeological anthropology, it is one of the sub branches of anthropology. ठीक है. Archaeological Anthropology studies ancient remnants whose subject matter overlaps with history history to a great extent. I'm not writing on this side because we will make some diagrams and I might be covering here. That's why. Okay? To a great extent, you can write normally in your notebook. To a great extent. Full stop. So see, what we have tried to do is first we defined history, then anthropology anyway we know. So we are trying to make the connection how anthropology and history are linked. So anthropology also studies human past, and that too holistically. We cover all the aspects which goes beyond what history covers. Okay. Then it also focuses on the present and some extent future. Then the archaeological anthropology, which is one of the sub branches of anthropology, it mainly focuses on these ancient remnants, which include artifacts, the societies, and then their structure, both political, economic structure, what kind of social hierarchy is there. All these elements are covered through those archaeological evidences that we found. So then we start reconstructing that. So this reconstruction is done by the archaeological anthropology as well as history also. What history does? History also does the taking all these chronological facts, it starts putting them in the line, making a reconstruction of this history, making that history, okay, what happened after what, connecting those dots. So both of them have the same subject matter and it overlaps to a great extent. That is what we have seen now. So this is the connector. Now the same thing, when we go into the similarities, we'll start like putting the points. Okay. Now यहाँ तक कोई doubt नहीं है ना? Please everyone just confirm and put a subheading that similarities.
सर इसको दोबारा समझा दीजिए.
कौन सा वाला पॉइंट को?
सर ये मतलब आर्कियोलॉजी एंथ्रोपोलॉजी कैसे कनेक्ट करेगी हिस्ट्री को रेमनेंट्स
हिस्ट्री
में?
को अब देखो, आर्कियोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, what is the main theme of archaeological anthropology? It studies archaeological artifacts. Let's say you got a pot, ठीक है, एक वेजल मिला है, ये पॉट मिला है, ठीक है. What archaeological anthropology studies is what is the time, कार्बन डेटिंग या कुछ और डेटिंग मेथड्स के थ्रू it will find out the time period. Second is, somebody please turn off your mic. Yeah. So carbon dating time period it will find. Second is what is the purpose of it, why it has been used. ठीक है. Third it will say to which society or which civilization it belongs. What are the characteristics and what were the uses of it. In this manner it will try what is even the material of it, material composition of this, all these things. Archaeological anthropology. Now when it comes to history, history is also interested in what is the time period it belongs to which society or civilization it was belonging, what is the purpose or uses of it. ये वाला देखते हैं. Why? Because history also wants to reconstruct the past events. ये भी जानना चाहता है कि पास्ट में क्या हुआ था, ठीक है, वो भी एक सिस्टमैटिक तरीके से. और आर्कियोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी आल्सो वांट्स टू नो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड and which time period it has happened, in which civilization or society it has happened, what are the characteristics of this society. So both of them are studying the same. Only one is going little deep and with little larger extent, another one is narrowing its scope and covering only those points. So here to these elements जो tick marks है, यहाँ तक both of them are overlapping. History is not related, history is not interested in what is the nature of the material, what are the properties of the material that has been used, ठीक है, and what is the purpose of it, is there any same material which is found anywhere else in the world, ठीक है, and what is the time period of it, ये क्रॉस कंपैरिजन वगैरह हिस्ट्री इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी इंटरेस्टेड. History is specific to a region, that particular region's history and reconstruction of the history. But archaeological anthropology, it takes care of the other things. So this is where overlapping happens. So that is with example. As we go further, no, you will understand the with examples. So now please write similarities. सबसे first, history has relation with all branches of, I'll explain what are these branches and all. See 1.3 segment we will see the major branches of anthropology, there you will understand. But अभी फिलहाल के लिए ऐसे लिखो, मैं समझाता हूँ. All branches of anthropology, all branches of anthropology such as socio-cultural anthropology, archaeological, I'm only writing short forms, you write completely. Archaeological anthropology, अभी देखा था एंथ्रोपोलॉजिकल आर्कियोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी के साथ लिंक पे. आर्कियोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, biological or physical anthropology, biological or physical anthropology. Now you might ask, sir, how biological or physical anthropology is linked with history? See, I'm just giving the example again. In biological or physical anthropology, we study the fossils, that is the bones, okay, plus burials, the tools that we got, the bone tools, okay, particularly the bones, skeletons and all. So from here, we'll start studying about the time period they belong to, and even depending upon the burial patterns, we also see what is the belief patterns that they have. See whether they buried their dead, whether they cremated, and burying with the rituals. Rituals, so we find if there are some flowers being offered, we'll find the pollen. Okay. So from there we say there is some sort of like burial practices or burial rituals which are associated with these graves. So such information we get it. Similarly, in the evolution of the humans, like from earliest ancestors to the present times, we get to know what is the change that has happened biologically. And as the biological changes happens, cultural changes happens, and culture is part and parcel of the history, because when we study history, first thing that we focus on a society is that what kind of culture it has, what kind of economic activities it was performing, what kind of political activities it has, what kind of religious beliefs it has. These are all the subject matters of history. That's where the overlapping continues. Even linguistic anthropology, even history is also, linguistic anthropology is another sub branch of anthropology. Anthropology has four sub branches: physical, yeah, biological anthropology, socio-cultural anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and linguistic anthropology. Now, linguistic anthropology studies the languages, how the language got originated and all. And history requires the language. Even history need to decipher the language in order to study about a particular society's records. Otherwise, it can't. So there also there is a link between linguistic anthropology and history. So this is one similarity point. Next, second point लिख लीजिए. I hope all the points are clear here. Now please write second point. Sorry. Second point. Some scholars regard some scholars regard archaeological anthropology archaeological anthropology as branch of branch of history. से हिस्ट्री का पार्ट मान के चलते हैं. देर आर सम यूनिवर्सिटीज आल्सो अंडर हिस्ट्री देर इज आर्कियोलॉजी. ठीक है, दैट टेक्स केयर ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी. ठीक है. सो दिस इज नेक्स्ट सिमिलैरिटी. देन थर्ड सिमिलैरिटी यहाँ पर व्हेन यू आर रिगार्डिंग द सेम दैट मींस देयर इज ओवरलैपिंग. सिंपल. सो दैट शोज द सिमिलैरिटी बिटवीन बोथ द सब्जेक्ट्स. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट में लिख लीजिए. बोथ आर related to human past, humans past, and their actions in the past, their actions in the past. ठीक है. So that's the prime focus of history. Of course, anthropology as well. Anthropology also wants to know the past. ठीक है. This is another one. Now let's see some links in the diagrammatic form. See, if we take socio-cultural anthropology, what does socio-cultural anthropology studies? It studies about origin of societies, origin of culture, the variations in the cultures past as well as present. And if we take history, history is also interested in the society and culture, but it focuses on the ancient ones. So here both of them help each other, you can say. ठीक है. Let's say what socio cultural anthropology, सेम इसी तरीके से बना लो आपका नोट्स में. What socio cultural anthropology focuses is origin of societies and cultures, comma, their variations. Whereas history, it focuses on, again, it studies the societies and culture in the past. Okay, so it focuses on past societies and culture. So this is what we have seen also earlier. Up now, since socio-cultural anthropology goes beyond and it studies from the very beginning. So what it does is it helps history in getting to those past societies and cultures. So it provides some information to the history. Okay, so provides information about these societies and cultures, how they got formed. Okay. Even it presents the description of the events. Okay. Information related to the events, past events in the past. ठीक है. Now history, it helps socio cultural anthropology. इधर से भी सपोर्ट आता है. कैसे? By validating those synopses, like validating that information. Let's say socio-cultural anthropology studied about the origin of the society and it has given some XYZ causes. Now when history takes it, it also studies from its perspective. It finds the evidences, materialistic evidences. History is all about finding the evidences in the materialistic form or in the written form. Let's say history has come across a book, ठीक है, और let's say history has come across a rock edict or a pillar description or a cave painting. So then from there it starts studying and sees whether the theory or the information given by socio-cultural anthropology is true or not. So by looking at these facts and written records, it validates uh, what is being provided by socio-cultural anthropology. ठीक है. Simply अगर summarize करना है तो what history does, it validates the past events with written records. और भी आसान लैंग्वेज में समझाता हूं. देखो, आप लोग हिस्ट्री पढ़ रखा है. हिस्ट्री में वी कम अक्रॉस, लेट्स से there are certain books which say Sangam literature. If you go, there are certain books which talks about the victory of Pulikesen over Harshvardhana. Similarly, Harshvardhana time period का कुछ books if we study, there also like Ratnavali, then there is Devi Chandraguptam, ऐसे कुछ books है. and there are some inscriptions. So they tell about the same expeditions of Harshavardhana to the South India. Now there is पुलिकेशिन टू एंड हर्षवर्धना बीच में वॉर हुआ है, बैटल हुआ है, that has been written in various records. So records are there. Similarly, there is a pillar. ठीक है. So in that pillar, this event has been encrypted on it. It has been engraved into the pillar. Now there is a material evidence. There are book records. Now both of them are validated, and the information will be passed on. So this is how the validation of the past events with the written records will be done, and that validation will be taken by this socio-cultural anthropology to put those events, whatever the techniques that has used, let's say dating technologies and all, and then getting that validation and further information, it will further classify the events and put them in this sequential manner. So this is how both of them help each other. ठीक है, दिस इज ओनली सोशो कल्चरल. अगर ब्रॉडली बात करना है, यू हैव सी आर्कियोलॉजी, दिस इज अनदर वन. यहां पर भी यही बना लो, आर्कियोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी. सी यहां पर भी दोनों के बीच में देयर इज अ स्ट्रॉन्ग लिंक, आर्कियोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी एंड हिस्ट्री. सी व्हाट इज द आर्कियोलॉजिकल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी और आर्कियोलॉजी's prime function? What it does is it finds the artifacts and studies the artifacts. ठीक है, so finds and studies artifacts. ऐसे बना लो, साथ साथ में बना लो. ठीक है, प्लीज मेक इट इन द नोट्स एज वेल. ठीक है, finds and studies artifacts of past societies. Now based on that, archaeological anthropology says that so and so artifacts belongs to so and so time and maybe so and so purpose. ठीक है, so it tells the material evidences, it gives the material evidences that it has come across, an interpretation of those material evidences. Now those material evidences interpretation, let's say अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बताया था, I found a vessel. So, and archaeological anthropology focuses on what is the purpose of this vessel, what is the material with which it has been made, and time period it belongs to, all these things. And these information will be taken by the history and it validates. कैसे? Through the written records. Yeah, let's say this pot. By looking at this pot, let's say यहाँ पर hole है मान लो, यहाँ पर hole है मान लो, then by looking at this structure and the vessel, the archaeological anthropology said the purpose of it is to draw the liquid which is stored in this pot. ठीक है, it is a perforated pot that has been predicted as the purpose. Now let's say if the history finds a written record that so and so king was there and he was drinking so and so liquid from this pot which has this tap, and from there the liquid will be dripping and then liquid will be drawing from there and will be served to the king. If history comes across this, then it will validate, yes, the actual purpose of this pot is this is written here and this is being used like this. So that's how both of them help each other. ठीक है, so the material evidences and the purposes are validated by or validated with the written records, written evidences. ठीक है, material evidences are validated with the written evidences. Same goes again, let's say written evidences are validated with the material evidences. अभी थोड़ी देर पहले एग्जांपल दिया था. Written evidences are found with respect to the war between Pulication and Harshavardhana in the history, and the material evidence for that was found in the iron pillar inscription. ठीक है, similarly Kalinga war has been mentioned in many Buddhist scriptures. ठीक है, many Buddhist texts जो होते हैं उसमें mentioned है. And the same evidence is also found, material evidence is also found in Ashokan rock pillar 13. So that means, yes, that event has happened and it has this great impact on it. All these things are true. So that is how we do the validation. So there is again link between these two. ठीक है. And Evans Pritchard, one of the anthropologists or sociologists, he said that social anthropology is हिस्टरोग्राफी. अब समझाता हूँ. is a kind of history to a great extent, because in socio-cultural anthropology what we study is the same aspects what is studied by the history in the past. ठीक है. So that is how we validate it. The same point has already been mentioned, so that's the reason why I'm not repeating it. So these are all some of the similarities and the connections. कुछ और पॉइंट्स लिख लो, एक और पॉइंट लिख लो. History is based on the facts. Next point. इसी में think how many points we have written? 3. After these do diagrams, fourth point लिख लीजिए. History is based on facts. History is based on facts, and the same facts can be validated, and the same facts can be validated with the help of anthropological field works. Anthropological field works. यहाँ पर full stop. Validated anthropological field works. ये दोनों अंडरलाइन कर लो. Say anthropology is a field science where we go out in the field and we study. So in that process we come across with the artifacts, eco facts, and these facts will be giving support to the written facts in the books. So that's how both of them help each other. So these are all some of the similarities. Now we will look at the differences and then we will conclude it. ठीक है. So first of all tell me यहाँ तक clear है, इसमें कोई doubt? Now let's go to the differences. सब heading लिख लीजिए. Differences. एक साइड पे again we will put it in the tabular form. In one side we will write anthropology, in another side we will write history. Sorry guys. So please write anthropology on one side and history on another side. So we'll be looking at the differences between them. See, first इधर से लिखकर then we will go to this. So history all about the past events. So history studies past studies. Please write history focuses on only the past events. Only past events, underline कर लो. And anthropology, it not only on the past, also present and to some extent future. So please write anthropology studies not only past but also present and future to some extent. दिस इज फर्स्ट डिफरेंस. टाइम पीरियड पे देख लिया था हमने. सो यहां पर पास्ट प्रेजेंट फ्यूचर तीनों को अंडरलाइन कर लो. ठीक है. सेकेंड, see, history focuses on only social aspect of the humans. It has no interest in the biological aspect. History never says what is the anatomy of it, what are the genetics of it, how the diseases are influenced, what is the immunological responses. Nothing is covered by the history. History is not a biological science, it's purely social science. ठीक है. ऐसे लिख सकते हो. It has no interest in the biological aspect of ह्यूमंस, स्टॉप कंटिन्यू कर लीजिए. It primarily focuses on social aspect, only social aspect. ठीक है, social aspect. So it is the social science only. But when it comes to anthropology, anthropology focuses on social aspect as well as the biological aspect. So that's why it is a biosocial science. अब चाहिए तो इसको सिंपल वर्ड में लिखना है तो social science. This is a social science. But whereas anthropology, it is a biosocial science because it focuses on biological aspect as well as social aspect. Please write. It has interest in both biological and both biological and social aspects of humans. Social aspects of humans. This is the second difference. So holistic in time, only past. It focuses on both biology as well as this, and it focuses on only social aspect of it. Next, यहाँ पर अब चाहिए तो ऐसे टाइम स्केल पे भी डिपेंड कर दिखा सकते हो, पास्ट, प्रेजेंट एंड फ्यूचर करके टाइम स्केल पे भी डिपेंड कर सकते हो, दिखा सकते हो. इट ओनली फोकसेस ऑन दी पास्ट. थर्ड, see, anthropology mainly focuses on the human culture, all aspects of human culture. ठीक है, please write. It studies all aspects of human society and culture. Human society and culture. But when it comes to history, the primary focus, yes, it also focuses on other aspects, but always the primary focus is on the political aspect. मतलब, who came to power, what is the descent, and what is the ascent to the throne. ठीक है, who is born from whom in the chronological order, who has come to the power and how they ruled. इस पे फोकस करता है. So a great deal of time has been emphasized on the political aspect in the chronological order. That is the main theme of history. Even if you take ancient history also, you will come like, let's say, prehistoric proto history chodo, then begin from the Vedic time period. Vedic time period is gone, then Mauryans comes. ठीक है, मौर्यंस में भी यू सी चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य, देन लेटर अशोका, सो इस तरीके, चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य, बिंदुसारा, अशोका, इस तरीके से जा रहा है. Then comes your Gupta period, then Gupta rulers. Then comes your, let's say, Gupta period goes till your 5th to 8th century. Then by the time आपका medieval history start होता है. Then there is advent of these Turks. So Turks were invading India. Then in Turks also you see the chronology. First it is Delhi Sultanate, and the Delhi Sultanate also there are different rulers. There is slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty. In this manner it goes till last Lodi dynasty. ठीक है, तुगलक डायनेस्टी, देन लोधी डायनेस्टी. वंस द लोधी डायनेस्टी इज गॉन, देन कम्स द मुगल्स. मुगल्स में भी देखो, वी सी फर्स्ट टू बाबर, ठीक है, देन हुमायूं, देन अकबर, देन शाहजहां, जहांगीर, औरंगजेब. इन दिस मैनर वी सी द पॉलिटिकल chronology of political aspect in the chronological manner. Even in the modern history also we see who were ruling, what is the chronological event that was happening. So a great amount of time has been emphasized on the political chronology in the history. So please write a point, लिख लीजिए. It emphasizes on the study of political events, on the study of political events for the purpose of studying society and culture. See, under each of these ruler, what was the society and culture? What was the administration? These are the things that we study. Even if you take NCERT or any other standard book for history, you'll see so and so ruler. Under that ruler, what is the social, cultural, no, architectural or art and culture development, administration कैसे था? ये सारी चीजें देखते हैं हम. So एक political leader को देख लेते हैं kingdom या king, and under him what is the changes or what is the society nature, what is the administration, these are all the things that we cover. ठीक है, same purpose. ठीक है, this is another difference. Then one more difference is, please write. See, archaeology, it when it comes to the data collection, say archaeology primarily depends upon the direct data or primary sources of information. But history, it mainly depends upon the secondary sources of information, which are validated by the anthropology, like with the primary sources. अब देखो, historians they don't go for the what you say field work. They sit in their cabins and they get the books and records, written by different persons, travel logs and all. They start compiling them. They start looking at the chronological events and they take the evidences from 1, 2, 3, 4 sources and then validate. They put them in the chronological order. This is the work done by the historians. But anthropologists, they don't sit in their cabins, they move out into the field, find the evidences, get the data, and then they process this data. So that is another one. Please write. The data is direct, direct, and it depends on primary sources of data. Whereas history, the data is indirect because the researcher did not collect the data by himself. He did not write that book, whatever the reference book that person is taking, by himself, okay, or herself. The data is indirect and it depends on secondary sources. Secondary sources means, secondary sources of data means the data is collected by somebody for your purposes and you are using that data. Okay, this is called secondary sources of data. And another thing is, here you have the field work. Okay, here field works, or you can say the anthropologists are field workers, whereas historians, they are armchair researchers, fieldwork researchers, okay, and this is armchair researchers. So these are all some of the differences between history and anthropology. इतना काफी है content, ठीक है. Now the conclusion, ठीक है, please write. At the concluding end, please write. Anthropology and history, anthropology and history studies same aspects of human humans past humans past with varied breadth and breadth and depth. Breadth and depth इसलिए कह रहा हूं. See, some, let's say history focuses on only some segments, anthropology focuses on many segments. History focuses on depth, maybe only in some very deep, anthropology in all of these deep. So in the breadth as well as in the depth, both of them vary, but they study the same aspect of the human's past. So that's where similar and differences. So if this is happening, then both of them help each other in their growth. ठीक है, वही वाला point हम concluding. Hence, both helped each other in म्यूचुअल डेवलपमेंट, ठीक है, डेवलपमेंट एज ए साइंस। तो इतना काफी है कंक्लूजन पे। सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट योर व्हाट यू से एंथ्रोपोलॉजी एंड history. Now tell me, is it clear, everyone?